I'm going to tell you about the day my life changed. You may have had one of those days in your life where from that point on, everything else was different. Well, I had one of those days when I was about 20 years old, and it happened at the magical kingdom, Disneyland. So I was rolling over to Disneyland with some friends. We're going to spend the afternoon and evening there, and we stopped for some lunch. I don't really remember where, somewhere near the park. And on our way into the park, I realized I had a little grumble in my tummy, and I excused myself for just a second. I went over to the bathroom, figured I'll be in and out of there. Give me a few minutes, guys. Be right out. And I didn't come out. I stayed in there for what felt like an eternity. I was there forever. In reality, it was probably like 30 to 45 minutes, which is way longer than I expected or my friends expected. And I was in pain. So not to get too graphic on you, but it's as if I was experiencing diarrhea and constipation at the same time. And if you're like me, my thought process is those are two very opposite ends of the digestive spectrum, right? But I was having both. I didn't know what was going on. As I mentioned, I was around 20 years old. This is pre-iPhone, so I can't really communicate with them out there. They're just waiting on me. They're not distracted with Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. They're just literally waiting, so that's making me more uncomfortable. And my body, it's betraying me. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what is going on? So I started thinking, what could this be from? The most, and probably what you guys would think too if you were in this situation, is whatever I ate for lunch is just not agreeing with me. It's tearing me up. It's got to get out. So that's what I thought. And eventually I came out. They were concerned just a little bit. I told them what was going on. Said, okay, I should be fine. Lunch was bad. Move on. Let's go on with our day. But then I go into the park, and a couple hours later, it happened again. And it happened again, and I told them, go do your own thing. I'll come find you. We had cell phones. They just didn't do much. They made phone calls. Remember when cell phones just made phone calls? So that's the age we were living in. So it was all good. They went and did their thing. And I dealt with the pain again. So again, we left that night. Everything, I thought, okay, I'm going to sleep it off. Well, let's hydrate. Do the things that you would do if you had an upset stomach. And I thought it was over. But that became a daily occurrence for weeks and months on end. I didn't know what was going on. So let me tell you what that level of discovery was and how we got to there. Guys, I'm Dr. Chris from Innate Family Chiropractic, and this is basically the story of how I became a chiropractor. So that day at Disneyland, things didn't go well for me at all. At this point, without getting too far into the history, I was done with doctors. I didn't want to keep going. I had been going for a long time, had been beating up my body with prescription drugs, and this time, this prescription drug took me over the edge. It was called Accutane. And Accutane, if you know about it or remember it from the past, it was given mostly for acne. There were some offshoots, but mostly it was given for acne. In 2009, it was pulled from all shelves because it was causing issues. Specifically, it was causing inflammatory bowel disease. That's what I had. That's what I was dealing with. I didn't know it at the time. I never got a diagnosis, but that's what I had. All the symptoms you look up, that's what I was experiencing. And it was awful. The way I figured it out was through a chiropractor, my very first chiropractor. I met him and he started going through and breaking down my health, and it quickly became abundantly clear that that medication was the chemical or the toxic load that just pushed me over the edge into this digestive distress. So, what did he recommend? He recommended that I start getting adjusted. To me, as a early 20-something year old dude, I didn't get it. How was cracking my bones here going to help my guts here? I mean, now I get it, right? It's a pretty simple correlation. But at the time, maybe like you guys, I didn't make a whole lot of sense. How are my bones going to change that? Well, obviously, it's not just the bones, it's the nerves. It's the nervous system and what was going on there. So it took me years later to get the full intricacies of it. But that's basically what he told me. So I started coming in. I started getting on the table, I started getting adjusted, and lo and behold, it started working. Incrementally, I got better and better. And then we added proper nutrition on top of that, and I got even better than that. And I started to exercise and work some other toxins out of my body, and then I got even better. So that whole process, it sucked. It really did. I haven't really gone back to a medical paradigm ever since. So that was a life-changing day, because as I learned more about my body and as it healed, I eventually decided I wanted to become a chiropractor. I saw the change in my own health, and then I started to hang around his office, and I started to talk to his patients and learn more about the body, and eventually he recommended that I go check out the chiropractic school that he went to. So that's what I did, and almost immediately I began the process of transferring my college credits over there and starting my chiropractic program. So that single day, that awful day at Disneyland was no fun, but I am very grateful looking back, because it set me on a path to learn a heck of a lot about my health, to change the course of my life, and now to share that message. So I don't want anyone else to go through that. Learn from those experiences, take something away from this. If you've got some digestive stuff going on, or if your child does, or someone you know, make sure they don't start going down that path. And look, I didn't get there because I was taking drugs for digestive issues, but that's what manifested in my body. I want to make sure that we get those healthy solutions in your system earlier through safe, natural things like chiropractic care, rather than prescription drugs that have a ton of negative reactions. They call them side effects. We call them direct effects, because guess what? I took it and that was the effect. It wasn't a side thing. I got the effect immediately. So if you got something out of that, if you enjoyed that message, if you learned a little bit, even if it's learned a little bit about me and my story, I hope that it helps to inspire you and help you in your journey of health. If you are in that process, just know it's going to take a little time, but you're going to get there. Your body will respond. Just keep doing the right things. Keep feeding it the good stuff. Keep making sure that your body is nice and aligned, your nervous system is subluxation free, and that you're rocking your health and keeping that day-to-day momentum that's going to take you to where you want to go in your health. See you guys next time. Oh, and I forgot, if you like this message, hit that like button, hit that little heart, the love button, even give it a little laugh face, whatever you want. Give it a like, give it a share, send it to someone that can use this message today. See you guys next time.